Hey everyone, let's compare these gloss bombs from Laneige, Etude, and Unleasia. Starting with the packaging, they are quite compact, very similar to each other in size. All of these do have donut applicators. Unleasia and Etudes are pretty much identical to each other. Both of these do have a dual lock system, so you can twist the top to lock the product, which helps prevent the product from spilling. For both of these, the cap does close whether you have it locked or unlocked. For Laneige's, it does have a smaller donut applicator and it's not angled. It's slightly a bit more thick, so a little bit more bouncy. I find this applicator is a little bit easier to apply on the lips and to get the corners. For this one, it doesn't have a dual lock system. However, it does have a stopper in the cap. Here's a quick hand swatch for Pigmentation. At the bottom is Etude's and number 6 Peach Twist. On top of that is Unleashia's number 5 Amalfi. And then we have Laneige's Sugar Glaze. Unleasia and Laneige do have the best pigmentation, especially for darker shades. Right here is Malibu, and this one on top is Strawberry Sprinkles. These two are the lightest shades that I have from their own collection, and you can see that Unleasia definitely does have a lot more pigmentation. For Laneige's, it looks pretty pigmented right here in the packaging, but once you apply it on your lips, it does kind of spread out, so it is going to be lighter than it looks. A little bit difficult to see, but for Etudes, it does have glitter in it. For these other ones, they do not have glitter. Most of the shades from Etude has glitter in it, except for shade number 1, which is a clear shade. For pigmentation, I recommend Unleasia. Otherwise, Laneige is the darker shades. But if you do like sheer tinted looks, I recommend Etudes. None of these have a stain. On this side, I have Laneige's and this side is Etude's. It does slightly get a little bit stringy if you have excess product, so just blot it and you should be okay. Side by side, they do have a very similar glossy finish. I do find that for Laneige's, it does fill the wrinkles of the lips better, so it has more of a lifter gloss type of finish. Looking up close, you'll see that for Etude's, it does have a good blurring function, but I find that Laneige's, it does blur the wrinkles of the lips better. But it does get a little bit more stringy compared to Etude's. So both of these do have a gel serum type of texture to them. They're really similar to each other. I'd say that Laneige is slightly bit more thick, slightly thicker, so the gloss does last longer than Etude's. It's a lot more smooth because it doesn't have any glitter in it. For Etude's, again, it has glitter, so you are going to feel the glitter if you rub your lips together. The moisturization, both of these are quite moisturizing, and because Laneige is slightly a little bit more thick, it does last longer as a gloss, but also moisturization as well. Etude's is a little bit complicated because they do have different formulas or functions. Shades 1 and 2 are clear shades and they're meant to be a glossy finish. For shades 3 and 4, it has a cooling sensation on the lips, but I do find that it is a little bit too strong. For shade number 6 and 2, the last shade, I believe it's 10, these are pigmented shades, but I do find that they're a little bit sheer. Maybe the darker shades are a little bit more pigmented. For this one, it's a little bit sweet. It is quite subtle. So something to keep in mind when you're looking for a shade from Etude. For Laneige, I only got one shade in this too. For As Per The Motion, they did send some testers. I find that for the darker shades, they are quite pigmented. For these two in the middle, which are a little bit lighter, they do run a little bit sheer. I don't know if it's packaging. Some of them smell a little bit herby or has this wax or candle-like scent. My favorite shade is actually Sugar Glaze. It's a Brown Heaven dupe. And this one kind of smells like butter popcorn, so it's not too bad. Next up on this side is Unleasia, and then we have Laneige. You can see right away for pigmentation, Unleasia does have a really pigmented color. Beautiful glaze-like finish as well. For Unleasia, slightly a little bit more glossy because it's a darker shade and it's going against the gloss, so it might look a little bit more glossy. However, they do have a similar gloss finish. It does kind of fill in the wrinkles of your lips. I think it's semi-blurring. Laneige does definitely have a better blurring effect, but overall it has a very nice even application. A little does go a long way. It doesn't get as stringy as Laneige's because it's more pigmented, so you don't need as much product. It does have a sweet scent. It is quite subtle, but up close you're going to smell it. Etude's and Unleasia has a mild scent. For the formula, both of these do have a very similar serum gel-like formula. So there's this thick oil formula to it as well. For moisturization, they are quite similar to each other. But similar to each other, really similar long-lasting gloss wear as well. So overall, I'd say these two have the most similar formula to each other in terms of moisturization and gloss. Honestly, not a bad alternative to one another. I'd say the biggest difference is that Unleasia has a better pigmentation. I'd say it's the upgraded version of Laneige's. That after I blotted off, Laneige's does seem to have a little bit more stickiness to it. On the lips, however, they're non-sticky. Just when you blot it off, they do have a sticky finish to them. A little bit difficult to choose which one's my favorite because they all have their own pros and cons. Overall, the formula that I do prefer is Unleasia because it has a nice pigmentation, really beautiful glossy finish. It doesn't get as stringy, it doesn't have much of a scent as well, and overall it has a really consistent formula for other shades. My favorite shade, however, is Sugar Glaze from Laneige. As I mentioned earlier, it's a Brown Heaven dupe, which is such a beautiful mute brown color. Luckily, this has a pretty nice scent, so it's not too overwhelming, but it's a little bit inconsistent with the formula. For edges, I do have shade number 2, Honey Drizzle. It's a clear shade with glitter in it. I don't prefer glitter in my lip balms or unless it's intentional, but if I were to get it again, I'd probably get shade number 1, which is a clear shade. It does have a very beautiful glossy finish. It's non-sticky. All three of these do have a very similar formula. I'm not gonna notice a big difference except for pigmentation and just a slight difference in how moisturizing or long-lasting the gloss is. Anyway, overall, I do like the donut-like applicator. That wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.